Hello and welcome back to Red League Season 3, Week 5 in Cambodia. I realized two things today in the morning. One, there's no real reason why I need to be wearing headphones while recording these videos. There's no sound anyway. Two, I talked Radox recently. Well, I say recently, like a month or two ago. He asked me why am I not uploading my GeoGuessr videos in 4K, and I told him, well, I don't really know. It would impact my performance if I recorded in 4K. And today in the morning I found out I was already recording in 4K all along. So the videos are going to be in 4K now, I guess. Apart from that, Cambodia. Well, first off, before we go into Cambodia, the table. Right now, looking pretty good. We're 1 point ahead behind first place, but, well, so are a lot of other people. But we've got a good gap, 6 points to 9th place right now, so at least that's going well. Apart from that, we're going to be playing GeoGuessr today, or this week, in Cambodia. I wouldn't really say I'm very confident. I do think if we had like a best of 5 or a best of 10, then I'd be pretty confident I could beat him in Cambodia, specifically, because I think I'm relatively good there. But with one game, you know, something can always go wrong. And Cambodia is not really known for being very consistent. We could get a very easy seed. We'll see later on through the other seeds. There were some very easy seeds. There were some kind of tough seeds. Division 1 especially, I didn't do well at all. But that was mostly because I just, played badly for the first 2 rounds. Otherwise, it would have been more in line with the Division 3 and 4 seeds. A Division 5 seed was very easy, so I'd probably rather have a Division 5 seed. Something like that, at least for our division. But we'll see what we get. As always, we'll go through the other seeds later on. But for now, let's just try and see what Cambodia brings us. Let's go. Alright, it does look like we are on a... Well, I don't want to say well-populated piece of road, but at least somewhat. Okay, 8 and 11. The 8 is here, the 11 is here. So if we have a junction between them, we should be here. We came from the northwest, so about here. Let me just check whether there's the Depot Taylor, right gas station. What about over here? Is that another Taylor? Yeah, sure. Just put 2 gas stations of the same company right next to each other. Who's counting? I am. Either way, we've got here those 2 roads. Those seem very peculiar. I would argue that are probably those roads. And there's another Taylor because who's counting? So we are right about here. The question is, how far is that? I would say probably right around here. Counting into the west is not going to do me much good. I could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to the roundabout and 1 to there. So let's just go here. Yeah, let's go with that. I mean, we have 2 more minutes, but there's really no point. 50 meters. It was closer. See, and that's why I don't count, because it brings me further away than I'm supposed to be. Anyway, round 2. Again, looks reasonably populated, but I wouldn't be sure that this one is as easy as round 1. But we're still just going to look for road markers on the side of the road. Usually that's what you want to get in Cambodia. Some are more helpful than others, but generally all are more helpful than nothing. Okay, this looks like a solid road now, and there's our first road marker. Where are we? On the 41. Okay, not a road I've seen a lot, admittedly, in practice. And I can barely read anything else it says. The 41 is here. That's probably Baset. And the other one is something undone. Baset would then be to the north. And the other thing is somewhere else. There's Trapang Andak, maybe? Could we be in between those? It does say Andak. Oh, it says 6 kilometers. I thought it said 60 or something. I don't know why I thought that, if I have to be completely honest, but that's what I thought. Alright, let's go northeast and see how far. There is a curve in the distance, but it's relatively, it's not a sharp curve. Slight curve to the east. Do we cross? No, that's not a river here. Still, I'm slightly confused because it did say quite some distance to there. I think this would fit better as a curve. Still, I'm going to go back. As I said, I have the time. It's not an issue. I feel like this place fits better directionally, even though it did say that Trampang Andak would be to the south. Is that maybe here as well somewhere? No. But that just makes more sense with the distance to Basset. That's why I'm walking back right now. I want to check that distance again to Basset, because I'm pretty sure it's at 50 kilometers. But, I mean, I've been wrong before. Wasn't it here somewhere? There it is. No. Is that just 4? And 6. So we would be closer to Basset. Now it makes sense. Then it's something like this. Oh, the other question is Basset maybe this town up here? It's sometimes so hard to tell. Or we could actually, maybe we traveled that distance. Maybe we're here. I think that makes more sense. I think that makes more sense, but we'd be in Basset actually, so we'd be down here somewhere. And I'm looking for a gas station. Sometimes I forget that I travel. I'd need to account for that. Actually, right around there maybe? Still don't really see the gas station, but okay, yeah, we were slightly further north. That's fine. All right, good start. Round 3, let's go. Oh God. Oh, this is going to be fun. Actually, yes, it is totally going to be fun because I know where we are. I recognize this from practice. But just to confirm, this is the Preaviha Temple, which is up here. Here. Isn't it? No, here. I knew it's somewhere here. And there's this water feature, which we've got here. So we start right around here. There's the main road just to the south of us, and there's this little off spring to the south. So this turns away in a bit. I'd say we're right around here. Guess there, 5,000. Nice. Round 3. Speed running this. Oh God. Now it gets annoying. This is probably a location where we won't be finding as many easy clues as in the others. Middle of nowhere Cambodia, always fun. Though that is not too bad. I don't really think it's going to give us much anyway. Where could this be? I think this is relatively typical for 2 areas that aren't particularly close together. But where I would want to place this, and I will go back and try a different way in a bit, I think, unless we get some good information here in this town. I'm mostly just zooming through these towns because usually they don't really give you anything useful at all. I'm mostly just gravitating towards them because they tend to be closer to major roads, such as this one. Is that a major road? No, it's not a major road. I had hopes for a second. I thought it looked like it was a better road. That's just a useless stone, isn't it? But I got to check. Yes, that's a useless stone. Okay. We've got 2 more minutes. The risk in Cambodia is, of course, always that, well, if you don't really know where you are, you're going to lose a lot of points. The thing is, it is very dry here. It's not mountainous at all, and because of its dryness, it's also like there's a couple of areas that look relatively dry if you look at the soil. They're almost swamp-like in that they've got a lot of water areas surrounding them, presumably to cultivate rice, but I'm not 100% sure. I just think that you might as well if you've got so much water and nothing else to use the space for. Yeah, this doesn't look like we're getting anywhere, unfortunately. Though, maybe? No, of course not. Just back out into the wilderness. So I'm going to go back for a bit. And which direction did I even go? Did I think I walked north. So let's go south a bit. Let's see. Yeah, it doesn't really look like we'll get anything here either. So the areas I'm thinking of are either here, up here, but I don't think it is, or down here somewhere. And I do generally think up here is the most likely. Maybe here because of the river. Which way does the river actually go? Where is it even? This. Is that even a river or is it a canal? Either way. Maybe somewhere like here. Maybe somewhere like down there. I don't know. We'll see. It was up there. Alright, that's unfortunate. Yeah. Well, either way, that's not an easy round to get. And I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, you see that Raymond also didn't get it. I wouldn't be surprised if not a lot of people get that. It's just a shame because I did say it could be there. Anyway. Round 5. Okay, we ended with a relatively easy round as long as there's no real curveball here. And I just don't end up finding anything. But this looks like it would be a relatively big city. Could be Phnom Penh. I'm not 100% sure. There's a couple other cities it could be. Public or the police, that's not helpful. Diamond Sea Center Hotel and Casino is also of very little help. Sort of going into the middle of nowhere here, which is not always a great idea. Opening of Tekomora Court Bridge. Treasure Island, Hawaiian Independence Beach. Isn't it Independence Beach down here somewhere? There is Independence Beach. Is that? That's the Cow Puss Bridge. That's a different bridge, isn't it? Yeah, Tekomora Court Bridge. I just hope. I mean, I'm obviously not going to rely on that. Because there might as well be a different Independence Bridge in all of Cambodia. There's Ikanich Beach. Police Commissariat of Sihanoukville. Okay, so I was right. Good. And it does look like the town is to our east. Is that the Dolphins Roundabout? That certainly is the Dolphins Roundabout. Yeah. Alright. Let's see. What do we have here? It's sort of like a park. Well, it looks like one at least. Wait, no, it didn't put me back to the start. That's not where we started, is it? It is where we started. Never mind. I'm being stupid. Okay. Right around here. Does that fit? It's sort of not quite how it is in game, but either way. It's not going to cost me more than 1 or 2 points, so let's go. Yep, 6 meters. All right. I'm reasonably happy with that. It's just a question of, will Guelo get that round 4? I think, honestly, if he's a bit closer, I still think I'll win because I've done very well in the other 4 rounds. But the curse of always screwing up one round stays the same. Although in this case, I don't think it was a real mistake. I mean, yes, I did say it could be there, but I really, it's a coin toss between that and maybe somewhere like down here. So it's unfortunate. If I had gotten that somewhere in this area, I would have said I'm guaranteed to win. There's no chance he beats that. Like this, I still think I'm the favorite, but it could be unfortunate because the other rounds aren't too difficult. If we look at round 1, that was right next to a junction. That was pretty easy. Round 2 wasn't that easy. Sort of down here isn't usually the most well-signed area, and I was lucky that I immediately saw Basset on that signpost, because finding Trapang Ande would have been another matter. And Sihanoukville, obviously not too difficult, and then we had this location up here, which again is pretty easy. If you've seen it before, it's super easy, but even if you haven't, it's not too difficult. As long as you walk over there, you'll see Preah Vihear Temple. The only problem you might have, actually, even though the Preah Vihear Temple stands out, you might look too close to the city itself and just not see that up there at all. Could be possible, could lose you a bunch of points. But apart from that, it really will just come down to this round, I think, unfortunately. But anyway, I'm happy that I at least was able to show that I practiced and I'm quite good at the country, apart from that. Anyway, so now let's talk about the other rounds. There we go. That was let's go to the round 5 seed first. Let's start from the back. That was a pretty easy seed. Let's see. Raymond and Danny Bones both messed up different rounds. Round 1, up here, near the Anlung Chotal port. I say port, it's really more like, yes, some boats can, anchor there. I say anchor. Park, let's call it park. It's a relatively easy round because I've had so many locations around here before and around here as well. So I'm really familiar with the area. So it didn't take me all that long. I was confused for a bit, but as soon as I made it to the port, most of it was just trying to figure out where exactly I have to pinpoint, and even that I managed to mess up. We then move on to round 2, which was up here. And well, I mean, I've already forgotten that was one of the rounds in a different seed. Yep, even more reason why it shouldn't be a problem in any other seed. Then we had round 3, which was down here in relatively central Phnom Penh, which was annoying though. I think, no, was it annoying? No, it wasn't annoying at all. Oh yeah, I remember. There was, I don't even remember what exactly I found. I found a bunch of things, and eventually it was this roundabout that I used in the end to pinpoint. A roundabout with a lot of different exits. We came from the southeast, and then it was this gas station that made it clear for me. Round 4 was the city of Tawing, or the village of Tawing, which is quite funny because I had it in practice about 4 times. So I walked all the way down here and didn't really recognize anything, didn't find anything, of course. And I was like, okay, 30 seconds left. All right, I'll go back to the start. Walked 50 meters north, and I was like, oh, yeah, Tawing it is. That could have been a 20-second round, honestly. But I just walked the wrong way. And then round 5, which was relatively close by, in Oyadav, which was actually quite interesting because I walked over there, I think, and then I found a sign, like a marker, stone marker, that told me we are... it told me some distances that I'm not sure I really... I didn't find anything really in terms of the distances. And so the only thing I had going for me was that we're on the 78. But luckily, this is a relatively distinct curve that doesn't really appear anywhere else other than here. So while it did take me a while, it wasn't too difficult to figure out in the end. Round seed 4. that one was a great start. First 3 rounds, brilliant. And then it sort of all went to, well, it went south. We started in Siem Reap, in an interesting area around here. It's relatively close to Angkor Wat. As you can see there, I walked around quite a bit. I walked south first, and I walked over there. Then I walked north for a bit, I think, and then I came back, and then I eventually found my way to the main road. And then I found this hospital. Around there also were signs towards, like everything said Angkor there, and one sign actually did confirm that we are in Siem Reap. So then I just had to look here somewhere, and eventually I just messed up pinpointing because, well, I underestimated how far I went, as always. Round 2, over in up here. That was actually quite a fun round as well, because purely based on the type of road here, I traveled east first actually, but I confirmed that later on west. Due to the type of road of it being a very straight west-east road, I knew landscape as well. I knew we had to be near the northern border. There's a lot of these roads here. If you look at this, this is quite similar. This is a very long straight road, and then there's of course my favorite road, this one, that's just very, very straight and very long. So I knew we had to be somewhere here, because it also felt very familiar to this road down here, but I knew it wasn't quite it. So I found that if we went west, you kind of go up a, what is it called? A stone, I can't remember. You know, where they get stone from. Does it say here somewhere? No, it doesn't. Actually, it didn't make it to the border. That might have helped. But either way, while the fire siren goes off in the background, either way, it wasn't too difficult because of the way this road here worked up, and it was sort of going up in those sort of curves up the mountain there. So that was quite fun. Obviously, pinpointing. Who needs pinpointing? Then we moved on to round 3, which was near Kep. And yeah, for a while I thought it might be Sihanoukville, because, well, how many cities does Cambodia have that are located on the ocean and the sort of resort towns? Well, this one and this one. And I hadn't heard of Kep before, but it wasn't too difficult to find. And, you know, once you're on the ocean, you kind of got a very small search radius. And then we were up here, where I spent about 3 minutes. Actually, I only spent 3:30 in total. So I spent about 2 minutes 30 going south. And just before I hit the actual city, I decided, no, let's go back to the start. Then I traveled north for about 20 seconds, hit a dead end. And I didn't get any info. It was just unlucky. Could have probably found enough information that I continued through here, maybe to David there, or maybe even there. But I didn't. Yeah, whatever. And is that another one? Yeah, there was another one where I thought, like, I don't really know. One of these areas, guess down here, was up there. Typical. And round 5, that was just bad from me. I walked up here, made it to the main road, and then went down here, found a sign that said, first of all, I found signs that said Sandan is a certain distance. I think it was 29 kilometers to the south, and there is a Sandan, there's a Sandan somewhere here. There it is, or Sandan. Then I found distances to another town to the north that I didn't really find. It's not on the map here anywhere, but it did look similar to either like this or this. I don't really remember anymore. So I guessed over here, just because of the road direction here didn't match at all, but this one sort of matched at least. And in the end it happened to be over here. I did find also on one of the signs, on one of the signposts, sign stones, marker posts, marker stones, whatever. I found one that said Pursat is 6 kilometers to the east. I'd never seen Pursat before. So, and since I was looking in the wrong area, that's kind of what I talked about with the Preah Vihear temple earlier on. If you look in the wrong area, like, the town can be as big as you want it to be, you're not going to find it. So that's why I lost a bunch of points there. And yeah, that was that seed. And then going into the Division 3 seed. Round 1, pretty easy. in Phnom Penh. There was right at the start, there was a building, I think it was a dental clinic that's not on the actual, doesn't have a POI here, probably doesn't exist anymore, but it had on it Street 336. As soon as I saw that, I knew, okay, we're in Phnom Penh, found Street 336, made my way over there, and then went south to this intersection. Street 336 isn't exactly big, I think it's just this right here, up until here. So that intersection was pretty easy to find as well. Then we moved on to, what did we move on to? Oh yeah, this up here. Sort of the sister village in spirit to Tawing. Down here, Andong Mias. It's just the issue was I'd never had it before in practice or anything. So while it did remind me of the area of Tawing, I didn't think there was actually any coverage up here or any locations up here except for that one. So I just didn't really, I guessed over here. That was another seed where I went, kind of all my hedges in Cambodia, either here, or here. There is no other hedge place in Cambodia. If it's anywhere else, you probably know where you are. And well, there's just that, which I should have known where we are. But either way, that is not a location where you're going to find any information, I don't think. You'd have to travel all the way down here, through here to this main road, and I don't think that's feasibly doable in 4 minutes. I think you might be able to, but you'd need to absolutely 100% go the whole time. And if you find a city that actually looks as big as Andong Mias looks, I think you're unlikely to just say, okay, I don't care. I don't see anything straight away. I'm moving on. Especially because, as you can see there, you're probably moving on into the middle of nowhere. So it probably looks safer to just maybe search for if you can maybe get some information from that somewhere here. But you don't. Maybe there is a sign, I just didn't see it. Round 3 then was in... Wait, no. Round 3 was Phnom Penh. Round 1 was in Poi Phet. My bad. Poi Phet was probably maybe even easier to recognize than Phnom Penh because it's just got casinos everywhere. Casinos and hotels. I always find this very funny. Is the roundabout just ahead of the Thai border. We've got a casino here, Holiday Palace Casino and Hotel here. Resort and casino here. There's a casino. 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 So yeah, it's relatively easy to realize that you're there. Round 4, we moved down here. It took me ages to make it my way to the main road. I think already like 3 minutes 30 had passed. I found one marker stone that had distances to towns like 5 or 10 kilometers away. I didn't find them anywhere. I just guessed randomly pretty much, and that was one time my hedging worked out. I actually got the right one. So I got a decent amount of points there. And in round 5, we were in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, where did I even hedge for that one? Hedged over there again, yeah. But I just didn't really find anything, to be honest. Unfortunately, like my path logger, I think, crashed at that point. So I don't quite remember where I went, but yeah, I didn't find anything. And also, like, it didn't take the whole 4 minutes. It didn't look like I was going to find much. I must have probably traveled south. I think if I had traveled north, I would have found signs. So at least one of these, probably. And then we've got the the Division 1 seed, which was just awful play from me in the first 2 rounds. The seed wasn't that hard, actually. Round 1, I knew we were near the Vietnam border, just based on the feel it gave me, and I also ran into a dead end there. It doesn't really look like a border crossing. Excuse me. But I could just tell sort of from practice that all of the Vietnam borders sort of look like this. And I just guessed at the wrong border. Quite simply. Guessed over here. It wasn't it. I also found that we're in Kirivong, but it's just hidden by that other town. So, unfortunate there. Apart from that, round 2 was up here. In that case, just me not trusting information. I did find a couple of things. What did I actually guess over here? Yeah, I found a marker stone that said we're on the 62, which, well, as you can see, we're clearly not. And then later on, I found a marker stone that did say 67, The issue with that is that the 67 is only this little piece of road right here. Everything else is a 66. So I just wasn't aware of it. And well, I didn't think to check if that might be anywhere anyway. So yeah, bit unfortunate, bit dumb there. Round 3 over here, I just didn't find anything. I guessed after a minute 58. Might have felt more if I had spent another minute going down here, possible. But after those first 2 rounds, I wasn't really in the mood to look for more, to be honest. Round 4 was pretty easy again, near Prenop. Pretty much walk down here. There's a massive sign here that tells you you're at the intersection between the 4 and the 3. And, well, that's the only intersection between the 4 and the 3. Apart from up here in the middle of Phnom Penh, which you clearly aren't in. Pinpointing wasn't actually that easy for me, because it is a sort of a parallel road to the main road, but there's not really a lot of reference points. You can, if you'd had taken the time, you probably would have been able to pinpoint it. I just didn't take the time. And then round 5 was again another one of these. I'm just gonna guess up here and not down there, because I just didn't find anything. So yeah, those were the other Cs. Back to our own. Let's see, has anyone else played in the meantime? No. So yeah, I hope that'll be enough for a win. I could really use that win. I mean, obviously I'm in a good position in the table right now, but if I can beat Guelo with it, it's looking good that I might even be almost already safe from relegation, and that's sort of my target this season. Of course, if I have the chance to get promoted, I'm going to take it. But sort of the latter half of the season has some maps that I think are quite unfavorable to me. I really don't like Italy. I really have doubts about my ability to beat Verdok on the Islands map. And I also doubt my ability to beat Tolimpala in California. So there's already like 3 maps where I'm like, I don't really think I've got a good chance. So I just want to get as many points as I can possibly get before then. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching it. Thanks for doing so. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.